Well, Bobby, welcome, welcome. We finally did it. You're here.
Yes, yes, yes.
On the Indie Beat, up close and personal.
That's right. And look who I brought. Gene Torres.
Oh, yeah. Thanks
Gene
for having
Torres,
us there,
bassist.
Joyce. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Gene is here, of course, because he collaborated with Bobby on some of his material for his CDs, yes?
Oh, yeah.
And so we'll be talking to Gene as well, yes?
Yes,
Yes.
we will.
So let's dig in. Bobby, you're from Ohio.
Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown,
That's right,
okay.
Youngstown, Ohio.
When I think about Ohio, I think it's the funk capital of the United States, probably perhaps the world, arguably the world, the funk capital. I mean,
Well, Ohio players, you know,
Yeah.
Parliament, and even Kool and the Gang. I mean, you know, a lot of people have come out of Youngstown.
Zap Band.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And my favorite, I think, one of my favorites for sure, Lakeside.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
see?
Lakeside,
Yes, yes,
Roger
yes.
Troutman,
What-
and one of my all-time favorites, I would say, because I think I did my first professional gig with this artist, Bobby Womack.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Indeed, indeed.
what, yeah, what a voice.
Do you remember that period, those artists? Did you take anything from any one of those artists, and if so, what?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I grew up in the church with church music, gospel. I did listen to the Motown, you know, so everybody listened to Motown, you know. And, but at that time, I was mostly focused on gospel music. So I wasn't, not aware. I would go out and hear bands. Matter of fact, Anita Baker used to come and perform in a local band in Youngstown. But she wasn't, you know, well known, so she was just a local band. So I wasn't so much into everybody like that. I didn't like, okay, I get the record, we dance, we have a good time, and I wasn't focused on them so much, you know. It wasn't until later on when I moved to Houston, Texas,
Okay.
you know, and got into secular music when I started to get more familiarize myself. And then I went back to I remember all those groups, but I didn't focus on them like I do now.
Now, you mentioned that you moved from gospel church music to the secular realm. Was that primarily because you moved and you were away from home, and maybe did you feel pressure to kind of delve into some other areas, or what?
No, it wasn't. Actually, it was when I moved to Houston, I tried to find churches that I could gel with, but for some reason I could not find a church home. And but I kept seeking.
So did you major in music?
Unfortunately, no. You know,
What did you study in
I was
college?
in computers. You know, I was going for
Okay.
computer. You know,
Okay.
for computer programming.
So I thought perhaps you went to Ohio to go to college. And
No,
do
I
music,
went to
yada,
Youngstown
yada.
State for 1 year, and then I realized I got to get out of Youngstown. It was not happening. I moved to Houston, then I went to a business college, then I went to the University of Houston.
So now you leave Houston and it's off to the Big Apple. When you got here, did it meet all of your expectations?
Well, when I left Houston, I had just I tried to finish an album, but it didn't work out that way. So I just did a 12-inch. Remember the 12-inch records they had?
Okay,
So I did a 12-inch called I Found Love. I found love when I found you. I found joy and happiness too. So I did that. I did a 12-inch. And then, you know, I did my best to promote it, and I realized, okay, it's either California now or New York. And I figure I better go to New York because my family's from Ohio, and if I, you know, starve, I can at least get on the bus or hitchhike my way
back
back to
home,
Youngstown.
right.
California's a lot longer.
It's a long haul.
Nobody's going to pick me up, so I said I'll go to New York. And surprisingly, I fell in love with New York.
You fell
when
in
I drove my 1965 Volkswagen all the way from Houston, Texas, dropped off my nephew in Youngstown, and drove to New York. And my best friend, Kirby Lacey, he helped me drive. And then, but when I got to New York, it was like, oh my God, this is where I'm supposed to be. Because let me back up for 1 second here. My grandmother lived in New York, and my cousin. And when I think I was 12 or 10 or something, I came to visit her twice. I hated it. I said, who can live in this city? It's crazy. And then when I was in University of Houston, my roommate, Maxwell Duncan, and I, we drove up to New York, and I still didn't get New York. I said, there's no way I can live in New York. So when I was driving up here, Joyce, I had reservations. I said, I don't know, but I just knew my spirit and my soul was saying this is where I had to be. And then when I got here, it's like, okay, this is home.
Okay, so you got here and you started doing a lot of private events, because that's when I met you. We were introduced by your drummer, and we started doing, dates. I started doing dates with you, and you were doing a lot of private events. And so, when did your first CD, your first full compilation, take place?
Oh, well, when I met you, I already had my first record out, my CD, Soul Purpose.
Suffice it to say, it was out a while ago.
Yeah. I like what you just said. Then I got married, we had kids, so that kind of, my career sort of took a back seat, but I always stayed in the mix. I always had some club going on, a club gig with my band or doing something, but I didn't push the artist career because, I wanted to be a father first and a husband first, and wanted to bond with the kids, and that's why I didn't focus on that,
Two of my favorite songs in that first CD, Better to Be Blind. To me, that's sort of like Bobby Harden meets Tower Power.
Or I'll Treat You Right.
I'll Treat You
I'll
Right.
Treat You Right. We have to start put those back in the show.
You
yes,
must
yes.
put those back
Okay,
in the
yes.
show.
Well, on your word,
yeah,
we're going to do
those
it.
sound like they should be spinning down
Yeah.
south right
Okay.
now. So now you have your first CD and on to your second CD, and you meet a different crew of people, or how? Where and when did you meet Gene here? When did he come into the
Well, Gene,
picture?
God, I can't remember.
2000, I think, somewhere around there. 2000 or 2001, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
something
you
like
s-
that.
Yeah, 17,
Yeah,
16
yeah,
years.
something like that. Yeah.
You actually have a collaborative effort on your new CD, River of Soul.
River, so yeah.
Where's the Love?
Where's the love?
What exactly was the writing process?
Well, I came up with a groove, right, and I ran it by Bobby, and he liked it. It had like somewhat of a very loose form, but it wasn't really set. And so I was trying to make sure that he wouldn't, go with the form that he heard, and because it wasn't right yet. And we started molding it, and it started changing. And then when the band got it, it changed again. So it changed about 4 or 5 times.
But that bass line was always strong. That when Gene sent me had the rough mix, or the idea of the bass line was always like that hook. That bass line to me is the song. Where's the love my body's missing, and all the hugs and all the kisses and all the talks in the middle of the night when I held you tight. Where's the love? Where's the love? Where's the love? Baby, it's time to come together and live as one. I know my love drifted in the wrong direction. I was blinded by self-satisfaction. A man with pride that made some big mistakes. Then my life felt the pain, and my heart seemed to fall. Then my soul told my mind, oh, where is the love my body's missing? Where are the hugs and all the kisses and all the talks in the middle of the night when I held you tight? Where's the love? Where's the love? Yes, you did have the right, baby, to walk out that door. My love wasn't true like I promised you. I did you wrong, and now you're gone. Now I see how my days and nights can be. Then my life felt the pain, and my heart seemed to fall. Then my soul told my mind, oh, where is the love my body's missing? Where are the hugs and all the kisses and all the talks in the middle of the night when I held you tight? Where's the love? Where's the love? A man was everything but love. It's like diamonds and gold at the bottom of the sea. So baby, here I am, down on my knees.
like diamonds and gold at the bottom of the sea. So baby, here I am, down on my knees, begging you, begging you, begging you, please give me the love my body's missing. Give me the hugs and all the kisses and all the talks in the middle of the night when I held you tight. Give me
It was at that time I realized, I said, I got to get another record out and finish it. I got to do something. So I met Brian Knox.
Okay.
And Brian Knox and I got together and we just started writing and come up with all these other songs. And then Ron Thompson, who's the keyboard player, he and I said, Ron, let's write something. So I went over to his place and we just came up with some ideas and came up with Let's Get Real. And then one of the songs, the very first song that I ever wrote is You Make My Heart Sing. That was the very, when I lived in Texas. That was gonna be on the first record, but ran out of money. But so that never, and it's a whole different song. If you listen to what the original is, it's totally different.
And speaking of money, I'm always curious, and I'm amazed, as much as I am curious, to just see how struggling artists put these compilations together, because I'm like, the money, and I'm sitting on originals. I don't have the heart to, ask people, can you help me with this? I don't have the money. I don't have the money, yada, yada, yada. I don't have the heart to do it. How does that happen?
Well, I tell you how it happened, by the grace of God, because Gene and yourself, I mean, come on. I couldn't pay you what you were worth and what, I could afford, but I did the best I could, and y'all worked for very little, and it all came together nicely. I mean, like Cliff Lyons wrote all the horn arrangements, and he said he wanted to do it as a gift. You keep stepping, and you just open your mouth and just, and people come into your life. Gene is like, he's truly, remember that time my car had a flat tire? This guy, if you ever get stuck on the road, you want Gene, because Gene has every gadget, it was cold too, right? And anyway, but Gene.
He is your true musician.
Yeah,
Has to have the
gadget.
latest this, the latest that.
everything.
Not anymore. Not the latest.
Not so much?
Not
Okay,
anymore.
You're just
but-
making your old stuff work. Well,
But now I want to say I'm blessed to have people like you, Joyce. You've been with me for quite a while too, and Carol Sylvan, and who else? Reggie Pittman. We said Cliff Lyons, Richie Gonzalez, Ron Thompson, Herbie Maitland. And then when Herbie came to, we got Chris Carter. We got a lot of great people in
You
the
do
mix.
have some good people.
It's family.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I am blessed. It's
And-
family. It's
Yeah, it's
family.
family.
I mean, it's family. We've been together. All of them been together. We've been together over about 17, 18 years, and collectively, that's been over a couple of hundred years. So.
collectively. And
Yeah.
so now you're promoting your new single, Not Ready, and you have a wonderful video for that.
Yes, not ready.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So,
We
who
recorded
came
at
up with that
Arthur's Tavern.
storyboard?
Richard came up with Richard Rollison, my manager.
He came up with the
he wanted-
storyboard?
He wanted to do it at Arthur. He said, we got to do it at a club. He said, can you do it at Arthur? I said, yeah. And so I asked Nick. Thank you, Nick. And he said yes. So, but then I said, let's do it in this, record part of it in the studio at Westbeth. Far West is what we called it, and because I had that vintage look, and so we put the ideas together, and that's how we came up with the video.
So let's take a look at that video.
been alone for a while. It's the only way I feel like she's out of my life. Memories are still there, and it's very clear. It's the only way to heal the pain in my heart. It doesn't take much to stir the memories of her touch, just a breeze in my arm. Strong I must stay until these feelings fade away, and I can finally have release from this pain in my heart. Oh no, no, I'm not ready for the next love yet. love yet. No, no, I'm not ready for the next love yet. I gotta ease the pain in my heart. Oh, no, no, I'm not ready for the next love yet. No, I'm not ready for the next love yet. I gotta ease the pain in my heart. Just not ready, baby. I need a little more time, yeah, to ease the pain in my heart. Oh, baby, I know you got the love, baby, that I need to fade away that pain, yeah. And I know in time, baby, you and I will leave to see a brighter day.
You're definitely going to have to come back and do that track. You're definitely going to have to come back. In fact, when you come back, you're going to do, I already had the vision. You're going to come back and do the Indie Beat concert series.
Yes.
It will be you will do your set. And
With the band, right?
with the band,
You're
of
gonna be
course, with the
singing.
band.
You got to
You're
be singing,
singing.
Joyce.
You're gonna be singing.
Joyce is a fantastic singer. Joyce is, I mean, her voice is like, okay, it's as good as it gets.
I'm on
you
the
know.
spot now. I
No,
have
no,
to
no,
say.
no, no,
She
you
right?
gotta be singing.
Joyce,
You gotta be
Joyce
singing.
is fantastic.
I'm
you
on
know.
the spot.
And I'm honored to have her. I mean, I don't like calling background singers because they're lead singers. I mean, they got, but
Yeah.
you know, I like to call them they're singers. You know, they're great singers. You know.
Oh, thank you.
You know.
One of the things you did when you came to New York, you got probably one of the most coveted gigs for all of the male singers at the time. And I remember when you were auditioning for this, and the great anticipation and a little bit of angst, wondering if you were going to get it when you auditioned for the Blues Brothers. And you got it.
I got it,
How's
right.
that been? How is it
That's
singing with the
been,
Blues
you know
Brothers?
something. Only thing I can say, that's like a gift, another gift from God, because not only the band is fantastic. I mean, it's just like a train. We went and recorded that CD in like 2 days or 3, yeah. Everything was in one take, 2 takes. Dr. John is on it.
Dr. John,
Paul Schaefer
okay.
is on it.
Paul
Joe
Schaefer.
Louis Walker is on it.
Wow.
And Eddie Floyd. That man did his takes in one take. Okay, both of his songs in one take. All right. I think I might have did mine on 1.5 or 2. but he did one take and just so nice, full of history.
What's the name of the CD?
It's Last Shade of Blue Before Black.
And which you're leading a couple of tracks.
I'm leading a song, Itch and Scratch by Rufus Thomas. It's great. And one of the other songs is You Left the Water Running. And Otis Redding was the first to sing it, record it. And now his was a demo actually, but then they put it out. Then I think it was Wilson Pickett was second, and Sam and Dave is the third, and I am the fourth, okay?
All right,
But my version, our version is like really different, but it's beautiful. And the song is getting a lot of great reviews, you know.
Really?
The whole
Okay.
record is getting great reviews, but that song in particular is a mention in a lot of reviews.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice,
Yes.
nice. Where can our audience find your project and follow you online?
BobbyHarden.com, BobbyHarden.com. Now, you can go find my music on iTunes if you want the download a single, or all the singles, iTunes. If you want the CD itself, the hardcover, which I highly recommend, you go to cdbaby.com, and you can get the copy of the CD, or you can download the singles.
How do you define Bobby Harden in terms of markets?
Well, soul,
Genres.
it's definitely soul music, and R&B, mixed soul and R&B, and a little blues element in there. That's me.
If recording artists were communities and neighborhoods, who would live on your block?
Oh, well, let's start with the ones that I have to resurrect. Otis, James Brown.
What about Johnny Taylor?
Johnny Taylor too. Oh, last two
hometown
dollars. Lady
dweller.
at the casino, lost all of her money.
And you had the privilege and honor of knowing Sharon Jones too, I understand, right?
Sharon Jones and I go back. Her boyfriend was in my first band, Heart and Soul, Joe Herback. And that's how I met Sharon. She would, come up and sing in with my band. Joe Herback took her on an audition. Or not an audition, but a recording session that he was on. And they asked her if she could do some vocals, and she did. And that's how the connection all spiraled into, or morphed into Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. Yeah,
okay.
I love Sharon.
All right.
Great loss. She went out on top.
How are you doing on the radio? Are you getting airplay now? And
Yes, I'm actually getting a lot of internet airplay. This DJ Elaine Lamb out of Scotland, okay? She's syndicated too in 15 countries.
if you had your druthers and could have your dream job or your dream gig, what would that be?
Let us open up for like Earth, Wind and Fire, Never Brothers, open up for Bruno, It'd be
Okay.
stuff like that to give us the real platform.
You have a manager.
Richard Rawlinson, information is up there, and that's who you, contact and hook us up. Okay, Bruno, you listening?
Be sure to follow Bobby Harden online, again, at bobbyharden.com. I'd like to thank my wonderful guests, Bobby Harden and Jean Torres, for stopping by the Indie Beat. That's our show for this evening. Again, be sure to watch the Indie Beat online on MNN's HD5, Channel 5, Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock a.m. Go to mnn.org and follow the prompt to Watch Now. Thank you for joining us, and see you on the Indie Beat. Remember, all things in time, so keep the beat.
You left the water running when you left me behind. You left the water running from these eyes of mine, baby, running from these eyes of mine. You turned out the light of love. You left with another guy. You turned off all your love for me, but you forgot to turn off the cry. Baby, you forgot to turn off the cry. You pull down the shades way down low, and you disconnect to the phone. But these tears are running from my eyes. I can't turn them off and on. No, I can't turn them off and on. Oh, yeah. You left the water running when you left me behind. You left
I'm Bobby Harden. Be sure to watch me this Saturday on The Indie Beat on MNN's HD Channel 5 in Manhattan. Outside of Manhattan, watch the stream at 10 a.m. Go to mnn.org and follow the prompt to watch now.